This is a U.S.-China Media Brief produced by the UCLA Asian American Studies Center. The U.S.-China Media Brief features interviews with experts and other prominent individuals involved in studying and documenting the dynamic and ever-evolving relationship between the United States of America and the People's Republic of China. I'm Russell Leong, Director of the U.S.-China Media Brief of the UCLA Asian American Studies Center. Our purpose is to provide a more balanced view of U.S.-China relations for the U.S. media through our media brief and website.
I think Russell twisted my arm to really be here today, but I'm really glad to do that and to acknowledge really the Chinese American Studies Endowment. I didn't get a chance to. I'm a history professor at the Claremont Colleges, and so to ask a history professor to speak for 5 minutes is pretty hard. But I will try my best. So because I teach history, and I know that for many of you, history was your favorite subject in school, I just recently took my class. Actually, last week I took my class. I was totally unaware of the connection, but I actually took my class last week to the Chinese American Museum. I teach an Asian American history class in Claremont, and we went to the Chinese American Museum, and it was really great. We went to see primarily the Hollywood Chinese exhibit that's right there right now. And what was interesting is that while we were eating dim sum at Empress Pavilion, which was a nice feature after we went to the exhibit, the students were really surprised to see how long that legacy of Chinese in Hollywood was. I think most of them were familiar with Jackie Chan and with Rush Hour, but they didn't realize that the legacy went back so far. And they were looking at James Wong Howe's Oscar statue that was there in that case, and they had an alarm there, so I guess no one could steal it. But it was his actual Oscar, and it was, I think, given in 1953 or something like that. So they were really surprised at seeing that. And if I wasn't mistaken, I think Suellen and Cheng's photo was listed there in the permanent exhibit as a grad student at UCLA. I have to keep plugging UCLA throughout my 5 minutes. But actually, one of my students who was with me that day, her name is Stephanie Chan. She actually interned. I served as her advisor. She interned at the Chinese Historical Society of Southern California this past summer because she was working on her family's history. Her grandfather had helped found the Phoenix Bakery in LA Chinatown. And fortunately for me, she brought a cake while we were eating dim sum at the pavilion. So I just highlight the exhibit, the museum, the historical society, because I think there is this rich legacy that I think all of you know better than I about. But I guess I wanted to acknowledge that legacy, but to think about for us in terms of Chinese American history and really about the Asian American movement, how really this past was a multiracial past. And I guess that's what I want to talk a little bit about today. And I don't think it's inconsequential that, for example, Chinatown and where the Chinese American Museum is located really at the heart of the Pueblo, which is those two communities are really at the heart of the city of Los Angeles. And some of you may know Erica Lee's book called At America's Gates. And I teach that book in my class. And in it, she talks about how the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882 really set into motion the United States as kind of a gatekeeping nation. That this country that, in terms of popular culture, we think of as the Statue of Liberty, and kind of send us your poor and your huddled masses who yearn to be free. But then we also have this tension or contradiction with the Chinese Exclusion Act, which has in some ways set into motion a gatekeeping effect that is actually extends all the way to the present, to today, and immigration debates today. So I guess what I wanted to really talk about is that Lee reminds us that we need to think about that tension or that contradiction. So in terms of the state of Chinese America, I think I just want to echo what's already been stated by the other speakers, which is really that I think that we need to think about how do we work with other groups in terms of building coalitions for a more just and inclusive city and more inclusive nation and state. And over the past 5 years or so, I've been actually working in the city of Pomona, which is just down the 10 freeway, a little bit further east, in a coalition group that is really working on issues of public safety, education, in terms of racial profiling that's going on in that city. And what's interesting about my experience there is that primarily my experience has been in Asian American studies. But the issues in the community that is predominantly there in Pomona, as most of you know, is Latino. Pomona is about 65% Latino. But what's interesting about this coalition that's been working on these issues, that it's been multiracial. And it's been really a great experience for me to do that. And I think that when I think about it and look back to the origins of Asian American studies and the center, that those multiracial kind of vision was there from the very beginning. So in some ways, this is not anything new. It's really about remembering where we came from. So I'm already being signaled that my time is out. So all I can say is that for the future, we need to learn from the past, and I think that that past for the center and for Chinese America is a really rich legacy that we can draw upon. So thank you very much.
The preceding copyrighted program is a property of the University of California, Los Angeles. All rights reserved. It may be used freely for educational and not-for-profit activities. For other uses or to make an inquiry, please contact the Asian American Studies Center at UCLA.